after a few weeks, we went into a specialist and found out that our little girl did, in fact, have something called trisomy 18, which is a fatal disorder. And they were suggesting that we not continue with the pregnancy, but that just wasn't an option. She was our child. She was a gift from God. And I finally really got to the point where I just had a prayer. I just asked God for 10 minutes with our little girl. I wanted to tell her hello and goodbye and how much I loved her. The pregnancy progressed, and we went in for the labor, and there were some scary moments in the labor where they thought that she was not going to survive. And again, I just cried out to the Lord, and it was a really desperate cry. I immediately had peace from God, and I was so grateful, and she was delivered very quickly. And I just remember thanking God over and over, and I looked at the clock and 10 minutes went by, and I looked at the clock and 10 more minutes went by, and I was amazed at this gift that we had been given.
When we finally were able to take Paige home, it was very exciting. I remember even our pictures showing my first smile since she had come into the world, because I was so scared. But at this time I was excited. You know, she wasn't your average baby. She was special needs, and she took some care, and it was difficult, but the Lord was with us, and He gave us strength.
During the pregnancy and during her life, so many times the Lord would fill me with His strength and His peace. She lived for 10 months. She fought for 10 months, and those last few months were the best months.
She was smiling, cooing, giggling, and trying to grab my nose and squeeze it as hard as she could, and it was fun.
Finally, we came to church on one Friday night, and she just was exceedingly happy. She was smiling at everyone and reacting to people. And
that night we took her home, and she started having breathing troubles, and it was a long night. And
eventually she kind of calmed down and was peaceful and was sleeping. And then about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, she woke up and she took her last breath. And I was holding her in my arms when she died, and I was looking her right in the eye, and I was telling her how much I loved her and that it was okay for her to go. I wanted her to not hurt anymore. I wanted her to be with Jesus. After she passed away, about a week after, a darkness set in that I didn't expect and I'd never experienced.
It was difficult for me to try to forget the struggles that she had gone through, and I felt like for me as a father and as a man, I needed to protect her from the suffering, and I wasn't able to. This was hard on me, and I struggled really at one point just not wanting to live anymore. The Lord was gentle with me, and He kept talking to me and showing me how I needed to be a living sacrifice for Him. And my son needed me, and my wife needed me. Through all this, I remember feeling determined that I was not going to give up on God. And I would just tie a knot and hang on.
It was a quiet, dark time. But I held on. I held on to Him. I held on to His hand. I knew He was there. Just because I couldn't see Him or feel Him didn't mean He wasn't there. And I can say after these few years that have passed, I look back and I see how He carried us through that time, and through the dark time especially, and how I have that peace again that I had had before that just comes from God.
If I wasn't before, I'm motivated now to make it to heaven, because I want to see her.
I can't wait till it's my turn. Oh, I'm gonna grab her and hug her and kiss her until she can't stand it anymore.
She's such a blessing to us, and we're thankful that the Lord has carried us through.